Let's try this. I want to see if it's working now. Let me see something. See, I'm not getting no. There you go. Hmm. What's going on, everybody who watching? Y'all watching the stream? I know y'all saw this about this FBI bust earlier. I just wanted to come on here and have my thoughts and opinions and see what everybody else had to say about it as well. Let me kind of give you a little background on what's going on. This article right here is from CBS News. It says how NBA figures and mafia families allegedly stole millions in rigged poker games, very sophisticated cheating technologies, X-ray tables, hidden cameras, pre-marked cards. Prosecutors say the suspects charged Thursday in a high-profile illegal gambling bust made use of sophisticated technology to cheat victims out of millions. In a series of arrests Thursday morning, law enforcement officers across the country took several big names in NBA basketball and dozens of alleged criminal figures into custody on illegal betting charges. One case focuses on sports betting, while another involves allegations of elaborately rigged high stakes poker games. FBI officials said at a news conference that the poker ring was operated by organized crime figures from La Cosa Nostra known mafia families. The 31 defendants included alleged members of the Gambina, Gambino, Lucchese, and Genovese crime families, as well as Portland Trailblazers coach Chauncey Billups and former player Damian Jones. Miami Heat star Terry Rozier is charged only in the sports betting case. The poker scheme started as early as 2019 with rigged games played in New York City, Las Vegas, the Hamptons, Miami, and other locations. And I just,
to the
I just,
public. We bring you accountability.
I just play y'all a clip right here, man. Let y'all see what's been going on.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Director Patel.
What's
to be
up?
clear, we're
What's up,
announcing
Phoenix?
today indictments
Miss
in
Phoenix?
two major cases, both involving fraud. One involves sports betting, and the other involves illegal gambling, very specifically rigged poker games. The first indictment involves 6 defendants who are alleged to have participated in one of the most brazen sports corruption schemes since online
Appreciate the
sports betting
repost.
became widely legalized in the United States. This scheme is an insider sports betting conspiracy that exploited confidential information about National Basketball Association athletes and teams. The second indictment involves 31 defendants alleged to have participated in a nationwide scheme to rig illegal poker games. These defendants, which include former professional athletes, used high-tech cheating technology to steal millions of dollars from victims in underground poker games that were secretly fixed. The games in the New York area were backed by the Bonanno, Gambino, and Genovese crime families of.
Boom. I'm going to stop right there real quick. Now, this is one of my biggest issues with this case so far. This is one of my biggest issues with this case so far. And I'll get into it later about what I think about how this whole thing is playing out. But my biggest issue so far is if this is involving 4 of the 5 crime families, then why is this press conference mostly pertaining to the black athletes? This, in my opinion, kind of goes back to that whole P. Diddy case. You know, they painted P. Diddy to be this certain type of individual, which he could have been, maybe he was. But we also know that there are prominent other groups of people who do this same thing that he was doing, or even worse, but he gets put on blast. Now, in this case, the 4 of the 5 crime families from La Cosa Nostra who are involved in this criminal activity are mentioned, and they're behind this, but the focus is put on the black athletes. That's one of my biggest issues with this.
Cosa Nostra. While the cases are separate, there are 3 overlapping defendants charged in both cases: Damon Jones, Eric Ernest, and Shane Hennon. The indictments in these cases contain only allegations, and the defendants are presumed innocent until they are proven guilty in a court of law.
Then why is this being made a big deal?
But my message to the defendants who've been rounded up today is this: your winning streak has ended. Your luck has run out. Violating the law is a losing proposition, and you can bet on that. First, I would like to talk about United States versus Ernest, the NBA basketball gambling case. The defendants in this case are Eric Ernest, Marvez Farley, Shane Hennon, De Niro Laster, Damon Jones, a former NBA player and coach, and Terry Rozier, a current NBA player. Other co-conspirators were previously charged for their roles in the scheme, including former NBA player Jonte Porter. Between December 2022 and March 2024, these defendants perpetrated a scheme to defraud by betting on inside, non-public information about NBA athletes and teams. The non-public information included when specific players would be sitting out future games, or when they would pull themselves out early for purported injuries or illnesses. They relied on corrupt individuals, including Jones and Rozier. They also misused information obtained through long-standing friendships that they had with NBA players and coaches. And in at least one instance, they got their information by threatening a current player, Porter, because of his pre-existing gambling debts.
I'm gonna also say this. I'm trying to figure this is what was baffling me the whole time I'm listening to this. I believe that they were involved in this, which was stupid on their part. But I want to know why were they involved in this? Because I looked up what Terry Rozier has made over his NBA career. I'm looking at it right now. It says $160 million. And then it says in his 2025-2026 salary, he is due to make 26.6 million, which would increase on top of that total of 160 million. So I'm trying to find out why in the hell was he doing these bets. They even said that that one game or whatever game it was that he basically threw, and they took the under on him that game, that they brought the money to his house and he was counting it. And I don't, for the life of me, I cannot understand why, if you made over $160 million in your career, why would you be doing such a scheme only involving like 10, 20, well, I think it was like 10, between like 10 and 20 some $1,000. Like, I don't understand that. If I've made $160 million, there's no way you could get me involved in a point shaving scheme, in a betting scheme, anything to do that would jeopardize my career and jeopardize me being free when it pertains to the game that I love, the game that I play on a nightly basis. I don't understand it. I want to know, was he in some type of debt to these mafia families and they were forcing him to do this? Because I just don't feel like we're getting the full story.
Defendants used this non-public information to place hundreds of thousands of dollars in fraudulent bets, mostly in the form of prop bets on individual player performance. The bets were placed through online sports books and also in person at casinos. The defendants relied on a network of straw bettors to place the maximum amount of bets to increase their potential profits. Most of these bets succeeded, and the intended losses were in the millions of dollars. The defendants then laundered their illegal winnings in various ways: peer-to-peer platforms, bank wires, and simple cash exchanges. The indictment details specific examples where the defendants profited from illegal gambling and illegal betting on various NBA games about the performance of players on, among other things, the Charlotte Hornets, the Portland Trail Blazers, the Los Angeles Lakers, and the Toronto Rangers. Each defendant in the NBA basketball gambling case has been charged with conspiracy to commit wire fraud and conspiracy to commit money laundering. Now, I would like to turn to the other case, United States versus Aiello, the rigged poker game case. Beginning as early as 2019, the defendants in this case orchestrated a scheme to use wireless cheating technology to run rigged poker games across the United States.
Which was insane to me. This was the scheme that allegedly involved Chauncey Billups, where he was basically playing in these games with individuals who had a lot of money, basically just so they could say, "Oh yeah, I was playing a poker game with Chauncey Billups, a Hall of Famer, a former NBA champion, an NBA athlete, star athlete. And yeah, I played with him, and I was playing with all these athletes, and we was playing this high stakes poker game." But in the meantime, he was so enamored with playing with these very wealthy, very prominent individuals from the NBA that he was getting conned the whole time. And I keep going back to, why was he doing this? Why would Chauncey Billups, Terry Rozier, and these other people, why would they participate in this type of activity when they've made so much money in the NBA? Why would they put their legacy on the line for this? It just doesn't make any sense to me. And somebody actually put a clip up that I'm about to show y'all of some of these glasses and what they was doing when it was coming to these poker games. And I'm about to show you right here. So they would put these glasses on. They said it was even cameras. It was even a system to read the cards. They had fake card counters, all kind of stuff going on. And this was supposedly with the Mafia families. But as you can see, these cards are labeled on the back. So if you put your glasses on, you can tell that this person has a King of Diamonds, Queen of Hearts, Jack, whatever type of card they have. So you can see whether you need to place a bet or not. But I go back once again, why would he be involved in this type of activity? I'm just not understanding.
Including in the Hamptons, Las Vegas, Miami, and Manhattan. The scheme targeted victims known as, quote, fish, who were often lured to participate in these rigged games by the chance to play alongside former professional athletes.
Also, if y'all watching this, make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure y'all hit the subscribe button. If you're over on the YouTube side, make sure you leave some comments. Make sure you turn on the notification bell if you do subscribe to the channel. Also, if you're on any other platform, hit the like button, hit the repost button, hit the share button, and I really would appreciate that.
Who were known as, quote, face cards. The so-called face cards included the defendant Chauncey Billups, who at the time of the scheme was a former NBA player and is currently the head coach of the Portland Trail Blazers, and also Damon Jones, a former NBA player and coach. What the victims, the fish, didn't know is that everybody else at the poker game, from the dealer to the players, including the face cards, were in on the scam. Once the game was underway, the defendants fleeced the victims out of tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars per game.
Why would Chauncey Billups be involved in conning an average everyday individual? Was he being forced to do this? Was he in some type of debt that he owed to these mafia families? Because it's not making sense for Chauncey Billups, who, like he said, is an NBA coach, to be involved in a scheme with mafia families to steal money from individuals in a fake poker game. This is what Gilbert Arenas said one time on his show about Damon Jones, his gambling habit, and whatnot.
You got 2 free throws, and LeBron comes by and taps you on the chest and whispers something to you. What did he tell you?
He said, if you miss these free throws, you know who's going to win it. What makes it worse, because we gamble at LeBron's house, me, Damon Jones, that was our group. So Damon Jones is horrible at cards. He owed me money. Like every time we played them, I always.
He said Damon Jones was horrible at cards. He owed me money. If Damon Jones was involved, was he involved in some of these games that they were playing with the mafia families, and maybe they didn't realize it, and now they're in so much debt that they have to try to get the money back by being involved in these games to con other people out of their money just so they can pay off their debt.
Used to scream out, the landlord's here. The landlord needs his rent money. So he doesn't even play in game 6. So when he whispers, you know who's gonna hit it, everybody assumed it was him. I knew what he was talking about. Like I was balling that game, just hit the 3 to get us in overtime. And then I see Damon Jones in there stretching, and they really put the man in. And the fact that LeBron even passed him the ball is what hurt the most.
Damon Jones, who hadn't played a second all game, inserted and knocks down the winning shot.
So, like he said, Damon Jones was the one to hit the game-winning shot, and LeBron told him, "You know what it's gonna be." What's up, Dark Kent? That's why I'm saying I'm not understanding why would they be involved in this. Look, it's something that they're not telling us, which is the reason why I don't know why they even came out with it, but we know why. They want to put this on blast because these are former NBA players, a current NBA coach, these prominent athletes, and this is big time news for them. Even though they say these people are innocent until proven guilty, then why put it out there? Why make a big deal about it? You're right. Sports has become corrupt as fuck. This is one of the reasons why I don't even watch college football like I used to, because these athletes bounce from team to team trying to get the biggest payday, and there's just no reason to watch it. And just seeing this really goes to the point that so many people have quit watching sports in general because they think it's rigged overall. I don't know not one person who hasn't watched one game at some point in their lifetime that didn't say, "Man, that just seemed like some bull. It's just some bullshit going on." Whether it pertains to the refs, whether it pertains to the athletes, it seems like it's always something going on when it comes to some of these big time games, especially when you get to the playoffs. You get to the playoffs in football, the playoffs in basketball. It just seems like it's some fishy shit going on. Now the NBA, the NFL, and other sports have gotten involved with all these sports betting sites, even ESPN. I mean, they run ads on TV, and then they wonder why these people are getting involved with this type of activity. It was even a case where some athletes in college were getting involved with placing these prop bets on these games and these teams, and it wasn't so much of the national, the big time schools. It was the lower tier schools. We're talking about the kids who aren't getting big UIL paydays. They basically getting nothing. So why would they not be involved in this? If you one of these athletes at these lower tier schools and you just getting maybe a couple of $100, shit, those games are being betted on as well. You don't think they're betting on SWAC games on some of these sites? Those games are getting betted on as well. So you had some of these athletes who were participating in point shaving scandals, prop bets, all of these different types of bets, because they was getting even more money from that than they was from the UIL deals. So once they introduced that UIL, which I'm not hating on nobody for getting their money. Go ahead, get your money. You know, we always say get your money. But you have to take the good with the bad. And the bad is that some people are going to abuse it. Because everybody ain't getting what If you go to Alabama, if you go to Texas, everybody ain't getting that type of money. We didn't heard some of these college quarterbacks move to a different school because they were getting $1 million. I cannot think of that one kid's name who was like demanding a certain amount from a school and he didn't get it, so he left. I think he sat out and then he left. So you got this going on in college. So for one, you can't even keep up with who's on teams. Now you got to worry about, oh, they moving around like these are NFL athletes. I don't want to watch that. It's a waste of my time. Dark Ken says Chauncey Billups is Diddy twin. He already had a target on his back. Yeah, I mean, look, this shit is beyond me. Is the reason why I'm trying to figure out why would they be participate in this type of shit. It's deeper than what they're telling me. Let's not forget about Tim Donaghy. Y'all have all seen the documentary on Tim Donaghy. Was the ref who was point shaving. He was throwing players out, not only for bets, but hell, he didn't even like some of the players. He was talking about other refs was involved with kicking players out of the game, like Allen Iverson and others. So this has been going on. So this goes back to my question as to why would these athletes do this, knowing that refs are involved, other coaches have been involved. This has been going on even before sports betting has got involved with sports. But now all of a sudden that you got sports betting going on, now you target these athletes and put them on Front Street above the four of the five mafia families. Is it a conspiracy? This is one of those things that makes you think, what's really going on? After Pitt said, it's hard for me to enjoy the NFL now because it's hard for me not to see the fuckery. Yeah, you watching games and you seeing flags get thrown for anything. And we know that they always say, you could call holding on any play. But it's always convenient how these refs call holding on 3rd and longs, touchdowns. They don't call no holding all the way down the field. But then they start throwing more and more flags. That could be considered point shaving. They trying to keep the points under a certain level because of certain bets. Maybe they've been told, look, this game needs to be under this amount because it's an overall score that you can bet on the game. Let's say 80 points, 30 points. And if by the 4th quarter, if they nearing that, then hell, flags start coming out. We finna shut this down. Y'all, the total points cannot be over 80 points. The total points cannot be over 50. Dark Kent says, wasn't Jordan allegedly tied in with the mob with this gambling thing that allegedly led to Jordan's father getting knocked off? I don't know. I heard something like that, but I never really looked into it. It could be. I wouldn't put it past a lot of these NBA or NFL athletes to have been involved with the mafia before. This isn't the first time. This is just the first time they've been caught, and this is the first time that they've been put on blast about it.
The defendants used a variety of very sophisticated cheating technologies, some of which were provided by other defendants in exchange for a share of the profits from the scheme. For example,
Illuma Negro says, this going to break the NBA watch. In a sense, I think that's what they're trying to do. I thought the Tim Donaghy situation was going to shut down the NBA once they came out with the documentary, but it never really amounted to nothing. It was just interesting to know that an NBA ref was involved in something like that. I heard that LeBron was named. They didn't specifically say LeBron, but they did say an associate related to him was somebody who relayed information about his injury and what game he wouldn't play in or would play in and things like that. Which goes back to my point. If LeBron was involved in this too, why? He's almost he may be a billionaire. Why would you get involved in that type of shit? It doesn't make any sense to me. After Pitt says, not to mention a lot of these athletes are in fraternities and brotherhoods, so they do favors for one another. Exactly. I think maybe somebody like Chauncey Billups or Damon Jones was in debt to the mafia because of some of his bets. And now he was like, bro, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to play in this game with me so we can get some of these people money back, or they're gonna take my life, or they're gonna do something to my family. See, they're not telling that. They only speaking on the part of what these athletes did. They did say that the mafia, the families were behind this, but it was more so focused on these athletes.
They used off-the-shelf shuffling machines that had been secretly altered in order to read the cards in the deck, predict which player at the table had the best poker hand, and relay that information to an off-site operator. The off-site operator sent the information via cell phone back to a co-conspirator at the table, and that person at the table was known as the quarterback. The quarterback then signaled secretly the information he had received from others to others at the table, and together they used that information in order to win their games.
And if you know anything about how people play these games, the secret codes or the secret signals that they would pass along maybe would be taps. You know, if you just resting your hand on the table, if you tap 3 times, it's a queen. If you tap 4 times, it's a king, and different things like that. Or if I tap 6 times with my left hand, then he has a royal flush, and it's all of these different things that they figured out behind the scenes to win these games. Like I just showed you, and I'll show you again with them playing this card game, and somebody had glasses on where they could see actually what somebody had in their hand. See, you put the glasses on. Now you can see every card. So you just place your bets accordingly. Oh, what happened to the video? What happened to my video? Okay. I don't know what that was about.
And to cheat the victims. Defendants used other cheating technologies such as poker chip tray analyzers, which is a poker chip tray that secretly reads cards using a hidden camera, special contact lenses or eyeglasses that could read pre-marked cards, and an X-ray table that could read cards face down on the table.
Wow.
What you see depicted on the screen right now is an example of the X-ray table that reveals the cards. Although they are face down on the table, they can be read because of the X-ray technology. The Mafia, specifically members and associates of the Bonanno, Gambino, and Genovese organized crime families, had pre-existing control over non-rigged, illegal poker games around New York City. As a result,
this also goes back to the point. Do y'all remember when Gilbert Arenas was arrested for these illegal games that he was hosting for some crime guy? Was he an Israeli or something like that? That he was hosting for these people, and he got out of jail. Do y'all remember that? I don't know if you do or not, but I mean, you do recall a point. Let me see. Let's see something real quick here. Let's see something real quick. Let me see if I still got it. He even talks about it. Do I have that clip? I think I do.
That's cool, but Rachel Nichols is foul.
What did Rachel Nichols do good?
She used my video and she actually wrote that I possibly snitched.
What you say, Luma Negro said, this shit might affect DraftKings and our online betting platforms. It should. It should. Because it has made sports almost unbearable to watch. I'm an avid sports fan, but over the years, I don't watch NBA as much as I used to. And I'm a big time NFL fan, but for some reason, it has begun to become so boring to me that I can only watch a few games, and the rest of the games I'm not even interested in. I used to could sit down all day and watch every NFL game that came on TV. Now, my attention is easily moved to something else. I'm gonna watch the Cowboys, but at some points I even get tired of watching them. The games they don't seem as fun to watch as they used to be. Everything seems like it's some type of a scheme or a scam to keep the points under a certain number, or keep a player under this, or keep a player under that, or keep a certain team from going to the playoffs. Or it something doesn't feel right, and I can't put my hands on it. After Pitt says professional sports is a big business in reality, but an illusion of sports for fans. Yeah, fans are of no concern to the NBA or to the NFL. Hence, this is the reason why they keep putting all of our games on these paywall platforms like Hulu, Netflix. Games and even boxing used to come on regular TV. My pops told me this when he was a kid. You could catch boxing on Saturdays on what was like ABC or NBC. Now every boxing event is behind a paywall. It's a damn pay-per-view event. So then now they starting to put even the NBA games on Hulu and Peacock where you gotta pay. It's like I can't even enjoy something so simple as a sports. Not only you gonna charge me hundreds of dollars to go to the game and watch it, now you're gonna charge me to watch it in my own home. Now I can't even watch that. Now I gotta watch it, pay to watch it, and it's gonna be rigged. That's a waste of my time. I might as well find something else to do. So you're gonna rig a game that you're gonna charge me to watch. It doesn't make any sense. You say the mob washing money. It could be. It's all kind of scheme. We don't know what's going on. Something bigger is going on that they're not telling us about this. It's bigger than these athletes. Way bigger than these athletes. They're not saying it. Oh, it's going to spill over to every sport. The only sport that is not going to affect, that I suspect, and this, because I kind of think that this is a little bit political, is not going to affect the UFC. And you know why I say that? It's because it's a little bit of politics involved. Dana is involved with Donald Trump. And also, when it comes to UFC, MMA, those guys have more pride because they in that octagon by themselves. It's gonna be hard for me to take an ass whooping for some money. It could possibly happen, but somebody's overall pride to get their ass kicked on TV for some money, it's gonna be hard to get somebody to do that. You say you finna watch tennis and golf? Shit. Hey, they gonna start corrupting that as well. Once that shit start going behind paywalls, and I think you can bet on these tennis games too. You can bet on all of these sporting events. You can bet on NASCAR, all of that stuff. The more the tentacles get involved in these different types of sports, the worse it's gonna be. No matter what sport you watch, it doesn't even matter. They've already got their hands involved when it comes to college. So just imagine. Just imagine.
Outrageous.
Listen, I'm going to troll with the best of them. But to ask that question, because then it makes me really want to, like, first of all, two of them niggas is gambling on NBA. One is throwing poker games and robbing his friends. Ain't got shit to do with me. I'm going to tell on this nigga. Wow, I'm going to tell on him. You know what I mean? My case is all a whole bunch of Igors and Igors, right? And I don't like this, what's going on. I see the word mafia.
Yeah.
But the only faces I see is Negroes.
Yeah. Not Crenshaw Mafia.
NBA. You know what I mean? It's NBA, like, wait a minute, hold on, man. Like, what's going on here? What y'all going on? What the NBA do to y'all?
Brother polite.
Exactly.
That's
I had to
brother
think about it.
knowledge.
It's mafia, but it's just local
You've been
blacks.
around brother knowledge.
You've been
Just
around,
local
brother.
blacks.
Been around brother
The
knowledge.
international crime bosses, blacks. Right. Okay.
You need a face.
They don't got jumpers.
You need a face.
They don't got jumpers. None of them gave Kobe
Like I'm gonna
60.
look, I watch enough movies to know the last group you want to snitch on is the mafia.
Right.
Yeah.
Adam Silver, you wasn't gonna open those arenas up as polling stations.
Listen, I watch Dateline. They still ain't found people since 1947.
We ain't seen them since.
I like my YouTubing career.
And we enjoy it as well. Blessed to be employed by the good folks over at Underdog. Woo woo.
Woo woo.
But we have
Kwame
some.
still out?
What?
No, it's Kwame
Which
still
is
out?
what?
I swear I told
Underdog is a what? I'll let you
him
figure it out.
plenty of times.
Still,
Like I know, like
still in
what I'm
YouTube
saying is,
jail.
like Georgia, like he's in your area. Just pull up. You gonna find something. Just pull up. You gonna find something. You gonna find him, his brother, one of them. Woo!
Nah, you should have worn a D-Lo shirt today.
D-Lo.
D-Lo.
I should have worn a D-Lo.
D-Lo.
No, but
yeah.
I don't have a problem with little D-Lo. You got a problem with little D-Lo. You know? I don't.
Well,
That's my buddy.
That's my dog.
My guy. That's your personal
buddy.
I
My
don't
buddy.
inherit your beef.
That's
As a result, they also became involved in the rigged poker games, helping to organize the games and taking a cut of the proceedings, and working to enforce the collection of debts. The defendants laundered their proceeds, including through cash exchanges, the use of multiple shell companies, and through cryptocurrency transfers. As part of the scheme, some of the defendants and their co-conspirators also committed acts of violence, including the gunpoint robbery of a person in order to obtain a rigged shuffling machine, and extortions that were perpetrated against victims in order to ensure that they repaid their gambling debts. Defendants who participated in the rigged poker scheme are charged with wire fraud conspiracy. Other defendants have been charged with crimes including illegal gambling, money laundering, Hobbs Act robbery, and extortions. This case demonstrates our office's unrelenting commitment to fighting the scourge of organized crime in whatever form it takes. I'd like to conclude my remarks by thanking the incredible hard work of our law enforcement partners, including the FBI, Homeland Security, the NYPD, and the Waterfront Commission. I also want to thank the dedicated prosecutors who built these two cases and who are standing to my right. Benjamin Weintraub, David Bourbon, Caitlin Farrell, Michael Gibaldi, Irisa Chen, and Sean Sherman. They had the...
What did he say out the pit? What did Dwight Smith say about the NFL? Let me see if I can find what you're talking about. There's a bunch of new age stuff on here. Hold up. Let's see what First Take was saying about it.
We know what world that I live in terms of politics. How many times, for one incident after another, have I said, Trump is coming? He's coming. I'm going to say it on national television again. Bad Bunny is performing at the Super Bowl, and all of a sudden you hearing ICE is going to be there, looking to engage in mass deportations. The Super Bowl, disrupting things. Big night for the NBA. Wembanyama put on a show. That has now been smeared because we're talking about this story, okay? Remember, Trump has a long, long history connected to the world of sports because he had those casinos. Where do you think folks were coming half the time? I'm not talking about individuals. I'm talking about the culture. When people want to go to a casino, when people want to gamble, when people want to party, or whatever the case may be. This was his kind of connection to that. Why am I glad you're here, Monica? Because don't be surprised if the WNBA is next on his list. Because when you've got all of these protests that have been going out there and people that have been protesting against him and what have you, this man is coming. He's coming. And I've been saying it for a long time. And to me, this is the latest nugget of evidence that we're talking about right here. That's not to question the legitimacy of the case. We don't know. We're all sitting up here and we're saying that we don't know. But anybody that has been around him, anybody that has talked to him, anybody that has seen his reactions from the sports leagues and the positions that people have taken, they are not surprised at what's going on today. I'm watching a press conference with the director of the FBI. Tell me when we've seen that. We've seen people, we've seen accusations before. We've seen athletes get in trouble with the law before. You don't see the director of the FBI having a press conference. It's not coincidental. It's not an accident. It's a statement. And it's a warning that more is coming. And that's what they're saying here. And everybody better, I'm just telling you, it's as serious as it gets. This ain't the platform for me to get into it the way I'm going to get into it. But I've been saying he's coming. He's coming because in his eyes, folks try to throw him in jail. In his eyes, he's innocent. They try to put me behind bars. I'm getting everybody. He's not playing. And so this, in a lot of people's eyes, talk to people in the NBA, talk to people in the NFL, talk to people in the world of sports. They think this is like the tip of the iceberg. These are the kind of words that are coming out of people's mouths. It's not a surprise. It's very disheartening. It's very concerning. We don't know where this is going to go. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. Everybody's better brace themselves because he's coming.
In a sense, I mean, I kind of agree with him because, like I said, I think a little bit of this is political. You know what I mean? Even once you heard Cash Patel get up there and say what he had to say, and he did speak about Trump and how he wasn't going to let a lot of this stuff be going on, but that they're missing the point of what I'm trying to get at is why would these athletes do that? Like they made them the face of this gambling scheme, point shaving, prop bet scheme, whatever it was, but they didn't tell us why. Then they ended up saying that they're innocent until proven guilty. Basically, don't jump to conclusions. But y'all came out and made a whole press conference about these guys, and they're the face of this whole thing. So if you made them the face of it, why would we not think that this is a cut and dry case that y'all have on them? But at the heart of it, you're telling me that 4 of the 5 crime families is at the heart of this. So why would I not think that the prominent people are the black athletes instead of the mafias? It just don't make no sense. After Pitt said, he said the games aren't decided on the field, follow the money. Exactly. Goes back to what I was saying. A lot of people don't enjoy sports like they used to because, you know, when they first brought DraftKings and all of these different sites into the mix, you could just tell it got fishy right then. I used to be big on what was the other one? Not DraftKings. It was the other one. FanDuel. I used to be big on FanDuel. And I remember an article coming out about how it wasn't necessarily rigged, but some of the people who was working at these sites had more inside information than the average everyday person, which was the reason why the majority of the folks who was winning in these fantasy team games were people who were from these companies, which made sense. Because if you was paying attention, let's say you made you a fantasy team, and at some point a certain team would have an athlete, let's say somebody's backup quarterback, in which in general nobody would pick somebody's backup quarterback when the starter was playing, because you're like, oh, I'm gonna put the starter on my team because he's playing. I'm hoping that he's gonna, be a part of this team that's gonna win me some money. But somebody would have a backup, and let's say that starting quarterback got hurt. And then all of a sudden, by the time the games were done, and you would see where your team ranked, and if you would be in a certain pool to maybe get $1, $2, $50, $1,000, you would be in the pool that's getting no money, and somebody who had the backup quarterback, which is somebody who they shouldn't have even picked in the beginning, was the one who won the money. And it just used to baffle me when you would see the people and the teams who was winning. You like, how did he win picking those players? Where did he get that from? I don't know if anybody used to play FanDuel fantasy teams. If y'all understand what I'm talking about, you would have to have played it to know what I'm talking about. It's just like, if you're just playing regular fantasy for free, yeah, I can see how you could pick somebody's backup quarterback or whatever. But when you playing for money, why in the hell would you be picking a backup running back or the backup quarterback? But you would be seeing folks winning these games who just happen to pick the backup or the backup tight end, and you like, what? Wait a minute. Let me look at his team. Let me look at the person's team who won. They got all kind of random people on there. Folks that don't even start. So it's deeper than the players. You could go back to the sports companies. All of them are involved in this. Everybody's involved in this. You say because they had debts they had to settle. That's, in a sense, that's what I'm thinking too. I'm thinking that somebody, maybe one person had a debt to settle. And like you were saying, it's a brotherhood. So maybe they asked, hey, Chauncey, can you do me a favor? Or Terry, can you do me a favor? They got a lawsuit against them now. Who, the NBA? Man, it's going to be big time lawsuits that's going to come up out of this stuff. These little companies too, these sports betting companies, I'm telling you, it's going to be big time lawsuits behind this crap. Out the pit say, you ever notice how the records always get broken on Prime TV? Yeah, I noticed that too. Somebody gets hurt. They supposed to break a record, but it's on like a regular night, NFL night, like a regular Sunday, but they gonna let him break it on prime time Monday Night Football. Now he's playing. Monday night he's playing. He's ready to go. You can't tell me this shit ain't made up. Let me get to some of these games that's in question. The Terry Rozier game. Let me find that. And this was funny to me because Terry Rozier, I'm like, bro, I can't even believe he was doing this. He just made it so obvious. He made it so obvious what he had going on.
And the meter's still running, Richard. And still going.
Look. He tried to make it seem like he did a bad pass. He need to quit. Look at this.
Rozier turned it over again. Having a tough night. And Rozier off the DHO. And he turned it over.
Just turning it over.
You don't want to play with your team.
Y'all, if y'all know anything about Terry Rozier, you know he's not that bad of a dribbler. He ain't that bad of a dribbler. He's not that bad of a point guard. I wish this damn fly get out of here. He's not that bad of a point guard. Not to that extent.
Especially against the Miami. I can tell you, hey, you don't like playing in Miami?
Airball.
I bet if you are clock down to 3, they got to get busy. Rozier with a 9-1-1 comes up short.
Putting up random shots.
Rozier, a contested 3 is short. The ultimate teammates and sacrifice so much. Rozier on the show and go. That all year. Empty corner 2-man game. Rozier with a 3. Anderson with a rebound. Rozier relocates for another try.
Also, look, they even because they named a couple of teams that was involved. One of them was the Lakers. Then somebody put this video up that had Russell Westbrook. Check this one out. Look at that shit. Rick, I mean, how did he aim like that? Come on, man. that shit, bro. The only reason why I think that Russell Westbrook could get away with that, because he is kind of squirrely. He is kind of squirrely. I was watching parts of that documentary about them on Oklahoma City. Was him, Kevin Durant, James Harden, and everybody on the documentary was like, man, they should have won so many championships, blah, blah, blah. I was like, no, they couldn't have, because they had Russell Westbrook. He was always blowing games. It was always games where he should have passed it to Kevin Durant. And I'm sitting there like, why is he not passing the ball to Kevin Durant? Why is he taking all of these random shots? But he kept doing it. He kept doing it. I mean, it would be times where Russell Westbrook would take the ball. Somebody would take it out. They give it to Russell Westbrook. He would come down the court and shoot it. You got Kevin Durant and James Harden on your team, and he would freaking shoot the ball. I'm telling you, he wouldn't even pass the ball not one time. He did it so many times. If I didn't know any better, he was doing that shit back then. At the pitch say, just look up Dwight Smith says NFL rigged. I think I did. Let me try it again. Where did you look it up on? Damn, they got a clip right here talking about somebody wrote a book about the Mafia fixing NFL games. Oh, okay, here you go. Here you go. I'm going to play it. Let me read the rest of these comments. Russell throwing them shots off on purpose. Yeah, that shit looked crazy, didn't it? Bro, you cannot miss that bad. Not that bad. I have to piss say I coached youth football for 11 years. I'm telling you, it's easy to throw a game. Bro. Sheesh.
Rush 4 and drop 7 and take your chances that way. Is that how you would do it, Dwight?
I mean, y'all know all the X's and O's, man. I'm just sitting at home watching. I don't like to get into that because I don't believe the game is really decided on the field. So, I don't get into all the X's and O's and talking, man. Like I said, I played in the game. I set a Super Bowl record, and we knew every play they was running before the game started. So, hey, who am I to say?
Well, tell us about that week leading up to the Super Bowl, because that was the big thing. Bill Callahan was the Raiders coach at the time. Obviously, John Gruden had just come over. Tell us about that week of preparation leading up to the game and how it was executed by you guys. I mean, you could know which plays are coming. And
Tim Brown and Jerry Rice come out and say that they made them run John Gruden's offense.
Yes. Yep. It was his offense, and you guys knew exactly what was coming. Did you know every single play?
They didn't run that offense all year, though. Ain't it odd that you would run it when you're playing against us?
So did you guys know every play before the ball was snapped?
I'm just saying, man, the game ain't decided on the field. That's all I'm going to say. Like I said, I predict who's going to be in the Super Bowl. It ain't about who has the best players. Football is entertainment. So what's the most entertaining Super Bowl? The Bucs in their first one against Patrick Mahomes has nothing to do with if these are the best teams, because we know that these aren't the best teams. The Bucs are not the best NFC team.
So who's the best team in the NFC, in your opinion?
The Green Bay Packers.
Okay.
But the Bucs beat them at Lambeau, though. I mean, the Bucs proved it. They went there. They beat Aaron Rodgers at his place.
You can say what you want, man. Like I say, the game ain't decided on the field.
But the Bucs beat Green Bay like 38-10 at Raymond James Stadium in the regular season.
You're not listening to me, man. You keep saying
So how is it decided then if it's not on the field?
The Giants won the Super Bowl in 2007. I had two pick sixes. One I took back 93 yards, another pick up there in New York. We beat them 40-something. We didn't have Adrian Peterson. They went on to win a Super Bowl. Like, you go for who beat what and how? Like, come on, man. Stop that.
All right, so how do you see this one playing out on Sunday?
It depends on when Vegas make that call. How Vegas ain't going to lose the most money.
So do you think the Bucs' original Super Bowl that you were a part of and won was illegitimate?
I think everyone there.
If you don't mind me asking, then, and we obviously appreciate giving us a little bit of time. Why do an interview for the Super Bowl if you don't believe that it's set up the right way?
Y'all asked me to. Don't nobody call me no other time until Super Bowl come, right?
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Did anybody, when we got on the phone, say, hey, how's your family doing? How your kids doing? No, none of that matters. So I'm going to give you my honest opinion.
And I appreciate that. We do.
We do.
I mean, that is our job, though, is to talk sports. I mean, it's not personal.
So what is your honest...
job to be real.
We understand that. So what is your honest opinion of Tom Brady being in 10 Super Bowls?
Good luck. A lot of luck, you know.
Okay.
Because, you know, everybody say Tom Brady, but if I can remember, there's a lot of kickers kicking kicks for him to make it there.
Well, Tom Brady did put him in a position to make those
So did
kicks.
Jim Kelly. So did Jim Kelly, but his kicker missed the kick.
He did. He did miss a kick.
Right. He did.
He did miss a kick. He
Well,
also lost 4 Super Bowls in a row.
But it's Jim Kelly's fault. Or
don't he make a great point about them kickers? How many times in the NFL have you watched games and somebody has a prominent Hall of Fame NFL kicker and they blow the extra point, or they blow the little chip shot field goal, or they blow a field goal within their range? Maybe their longest is like 61 yards, but the field goal is only 45, and they fucking shank that motherfucker. That motherfucker will go in the fucking crowd, bro. It's almost as if they gonna make sure it doesn't even get close to the goal pole. We've seen this all too many times. And this is what I'm saying. Over time, I think people have been saying this about sports, and it's starting to be exposed. It's starting to be exposed. Now, my point goes to who they're making the face of it, but we've all known sports has been rigged for a long time, and this shit is just, it's making people more of a believer. And this is why when people have these conspiracies and it takes so long for basically them to be proven right, here is one of those instances where over time you'd be like, damn, people been saying that, and everybody used to say, oh, he crazy. They're making it up. It's just in their head. Oh, they just mad because they team lost. No. Damn, fly. They just mad because they team lost. Nope. Say Russell Wilson throwing them shots off on purpose. Man, Russell Wilson, sometimes his balls look crazy. You like, oh, like the last one in the Cowboys game? Man, I'm telling you, when he threw that interception, I was like, what the fuck? It's shit like that. Even though the Cowboys won, I was happy. But go back and watch that last interception that Russell Wilson threw. He just threw that shit up in overtime. He just threw it up. I mean, he just gave him a interception. And after Pitt say, paying players incentives goes both ways to win and lose. Yep, they do.
Not Tom Brady's fault if his kicker do, like, come on, man. boy, man. We break stuff down like it's so small. Like, this is the only reason that it happened. Like, come on, man.
So the reason you guys won the Super Bowl wasn't because of your outstanding defense. It was because that's the way it was predetermined. That's what you're.
Well, I mean, if our defense was so outstanding, why we couldn't beat the Saints that year? Saints beat us twice. So why did the Oakland Raiders say we're gonna go in with the Saints game plan? Because they had Deuce McCall, they ran the ball down our throat. Why didn't they come in and say we're gonna do the same thing?
All right, D.
Now there's no more one to talk.
Well, we don't know what else to say.
We're just caught off guard a little bit. That's all.
A little bit.
To be honest with you.
Let's talk about the fact that the Lions made Calvin Johnson and Barry Sanders give back money, but they traded Matthew Stafford when he wanted to be.
Yeah, well, hey.
Barry Sanders didn't want to play for John Ross. Let's
not talk about the real things, man. Let's just talk about that. I got you, man. I got you.
Well, Barry Sanders didn't want to play for Bobby Ross, but that's another story for.
It was a good video you brought up. Who was that? After Pitt? I'm going to have to save that video. Think about Cam Newton. You talking about that Super Bowl game when he he didn't try to get that fumble? Is that what you talking about? When he fumbled the ball and it was right in front of his face and he like half-ass dived at it to get it in the Super Bowl. We talking about a quarterback who will freaking try to run over a linebacker, but yet he fumbled the ball and didn't have, he was like, man, I could get it, but I would rather for them to get it. I'm a half-ass dive down there and get the ball. Talking about that guy. This shit has been rigged since the beginning of time. Man, y'all make sure y'all hit that like button, man. If you watching this, hit that like button. I only got one person hit the like button. Y'all come on now. Don't do me like that. That's cold-blooded right there. Let's see. So yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think about this, man. It's pretty fascinating if you ask me. Who they put the blame on and why they put the blame on them. Say, like I say, I coached for 11 years. I personally know most of these players have been playing since the age of 7 years old. By the age of 11, they know the game like the back of their hand. Yeah, I know it. I know it. I used to play little league sports. I played football, basketball, and baseball. You know it like the back of your hand. Yeah, that's right. He did. He jumped back from the ball. He kind of flinched and then he was like, yeah, that's what he did. That's exactly what he did. Let me see. I know I got it. I know they got it. See if I can find it right here. There you go. Yeah. Check this out.
Here he comes, number 58. Von Miller against Mike Rimmers one more time. Cam Newton didn't feel it, didn't step up.
You see that? You see how he kind of hesitated?
Von Miller against Mike Rimmers one more time. Cam Newton didn't feel it, didn't step up. The football just taken out of his hand. Cam Newton decides not to dive in there. And
he backed away from it. He jumped away instead of jumping into the pile.
Yep. I guess he made a decision it wasn't worth to go in there and get
it. In the Super Bowl? In the Super Bowl? That's why people say this shit rigged, man, and they get tired of watching it. In the Super Bowl. Cam Newton is bigger than most of them linemen out there. Think about that. Cam Newton is about 6'4", 6'5". I mean, I'm going to pull it up. I'll tell you how big. I'm sick of this fly. Cam Newton is 6'5", 245 pounds. He like a damn tight end out there. Literally. Like a tight end playing quarterback. So I want to know what's going on right there. You tell me. Man, y'all let me know. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this. I talked my head off about it for about an hour, so I ain't gonna stay on her. I don't stay on her too long. I'm finna get out of here. But man, like I say, y'all let me know what y'all think about this. I had my thoughts about it. I gave y'all my 2 cents. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure y'all hit the subscribe button. Turn on the notifications. Also, leave some comments at the bottom of this video. And I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.